What's up? What's up? What's up? How is everybody doing this, at least where I live, sweltering Saturday evening? I hope everybody's doing good. I am doing not too bad. I hope everyone had a good 3 days since we all saw each other on Wednesday. We have a ton of Marvel news to go over tonight. All of it courtesy of the Geeky cast and the other members of the Geeky family. Holyfield, Syrian Geek Vibes, a couple other people whose name doesn't come immediately to mind, sorry. But the Geeky family. This news comes from them. Predominantly. So, credito to them. Mass credito. So, fill your cup. Light your smoke. Lean back. Push the like button. And relax. Because you're in the basement, and this is the Saturday Night Chill. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the basement. I hope everyone's doing well, as I already said, and as you know, I tend to repeat myself. Maximus, what's up? How you doing, man? I hope you guys are ready to talk a ton of Marvel. A ton. And, of course, the what's up, Prez? And, of course, the biggest bit of all, it has come out. I'm not sure if this is allegedly or official, so we'll say allegedly. Allegedly, the Russos wanted to do Avengers 5. And Feige said, fuck off! And there is all kinds of more bits of news to go over. Besides that occurrence, we'll call it for now. Fucking hate having crooked ears. Pardon me for just 1 second. God damn it. There we go. Oh, that's better. Feels weird because I guess they're mostly out of place most of the time. What's up, Brooke? How you doing? How's things over on the West Coast? I love West Coast rap. I throw up the dub in respect. For the record. And the dub flipped upside down, B and M, and I am from Michigan. Just chilling? Good. I am glad. So, Does anybody have any interesting anything y'all want to talk about? Finished God of War Ragnarok. DLC. Ooh, last level's tough. Well, that's what last levels are for. Because you're allegedly supposed to build up a shit ton of skills and weapons and health and all that shit, so you should be able to handle that shit by then. With effort, of course. I mean, a gimme fight at the end would be lame. It would be highly lame. Anything fun going on with anybody else? Need to take a break from the DLC for a while? What's happening, Griff? Starting to get a little frustrated? I feel that, man. I feel that. Yeah. Rocking the PlayStation Spider-Man shirt. And my moobs. Man boobs. Moobs for short. Yeah, if anyone's lurking and you're new, I make lots of stupid ass and frequently vulgar jokes like that a lot, so fair warning. All the people you see in chat right now can testify to that. Especially when I'm in other people's chats. Let me see. Did anything interesting happen between Wednesday and now? For me. I worked. Had an appointment on Thursday. And then I worked. Then I worked. Yeah, I haven't done shit. Bro, I've got all my volumes up. I don't know what the problem is. Let me try that button. I have no idea if that'll make a difference, but it's worth a shot. And I can always put my diaphragm into it, project a little bit more. I can definitely do that. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. 7 in here and only 6 likes. Who be the slacker? Please go push that puppy. I really want to convince YouTube that I'm worth it. Because I am. What fucking... Was it L'Oreal because I'm worth it? Was that the commercial back in the day? Help me out, people around my age. And I'm pretty sure y'all already know who you are. Griff. Also popular at the time, Prel. Who remembers Prel shampoo? Yeah, I'm dropping some old school shit right now. The growing up in the 80s shit. Little throwback action for y'all. Just for poops and giggles. All right. I have reference material. That's how much shit I got to talk about tonight. Or want to talk about tonight. Item numero uno. 'Tis rumored, and let me emphasize rumored, that the Henry Cavill Warhammer project has been shelved. I tagged Josh with that, and he firmly doesn't believe it. I wouldn't go as far as bullet points. It's just more of a list so I don't forget anything. But yes, do listen up. So, Josh believes it not. It's a rumor, so I don't know what to believe, but Amazon is kind of stupid sometimes, so it would not surprise me. Icarus, what's happening? So honestly, it's Amazon, so who the fuck knows? It could just as easily be still in active development. Honestly. This is a 50-50 rumor for sure. And again, rumor. No, he doesn't. He does not, Prez. He will be so... You know what? I kind of almost don't want to be on the stream where after... Like, if that proves true, I almost kind of don't want to watch the stream after that, because someone's probably going to get banned to that stream. He's going to be very upset. But on the other hand, him banning people is, well, entertaining, and he knows it. We've all heard him admit it. I'm not bagging on him. We all love Papa Josh. But yeah. And honestly, I've what is the channel? Josh recommended me a Warhammer lore channel, and I listened to it a lot straight for a while. And Warhammer lore is actually pretty dope. From the raisin. Have you been outside that much? Are you dry and wrinkly and barely juicy? Hey, Mur. But also excessively sweet? Is that the case? So, what was I saying? Oh, yes, the lore. The lore is actually cool. Luton. That's who it is. Luton. Lueten. Luton. He's very good at covering the Warhammer lore. Very interesting to listen to, I think. So, I kind of got into the Warhammer lore a little bit. Getting there. That sucks. So yeah, I've started to dig the lore. So I would, obviously nowhere near as upset as Josh will be, but that'd be a bummer if that turns out to be if that rumor ends up being confirmed as actual fact. And besides, you all know I'm a Cavill stan, so. But the potential, and this is completely selfish as fuck. I freely admit this. What's up, David B? You don't have to be sorry for being late. I appreciate you showing up at all. So, thank you. And thank you to everyone that's lurking. And thank you to those of you who are watching the replay. Everybody, pretty please hit the fucking like button. Thank you. So, yes, the selfish ass part of me. If this is true, the silver lining is that potentially could mean that Henry moves on to the Highlander project. And I fucking want Cavill Highlander bad. This is going to be sick. Although I really have no idea who the fuck they're going to cast for the Kurgan. No clue. I can't think of anybody that would be... I can't think of anyone suitable at this time. Who the fuck can match up to Clancy Brown in that role? Who? Who? Seriously, help me out. Who you guys think could match up to Clancy Brown as the Kurgan in Cavill's Highlander movie. I'm thinking there can be only one Kurgan. What do you guys think? Can you guys think of any actor that could pull off the Kurgan at least mostly as well as Clancy Brown did? Because I got nothing, and I have back itch. What I have is a back itch. I got nothing on that question. I'm hoping you guys have some recommendations at least that I can think about. That'd be nice. Do you guys have any? God damn it. I need to clean this fucking desk off. What y'all think? Because if they get at least for me, if they get anyone that's too much smaller than Clancy Brown, it's going to be fucked up. Like, the Kurgan needs to be big. I think. The guy that's voicing Galactus. Let me take a peeky. Do you happen to have his actual name? Because I have no problem goggling at all. Does this motherfucker not have a home button? Ooh, oh yeah, Joe Manganiello. That's a good call, David. I dig that one. And I've been a Joe Manganiello fan since what the fucking shit? True Blood. Joe Manganiello would definitely make a good Kurgan. Ralph Ineson. Okay, thank you. Oops. Learn how to type, you motherfucker. There we are. He's the most searched Ralph, according to this. I need him in a head to foot picture. Ralph Ineson. Full body photos. All right, well, that's going to have to be good enough. Yeah. He could work. Especially with that fucking voice. All he'd have to do is it up a little. Highlander. You know, and I'm quite sure he could do that. Happy Halloween, ladies. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I would say he's a candidate. Manganiello's a good candidate. Giancarlo could be a Killer Ramirez. Yeah, he could be a Killer Ramirez. I actually would prefer more of a Banderas type, personally. But that's just me. And I don't need that, and I don't need... Well, actually, I'll leave that up in case I want to search something else. All right. Nine likes, thank you very much. 11 watching. Whoever you two are, and you know who you are, pretty please hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. And I'm trying to grow this community that is frankly fucking awesome. And they're not awesome because of me. They're awesome because of themselves. So be smashing the like so more people can hang out and enjoy the company of the awesome people that are already here. Nestor Carbonell. Glad I left the search tab up. Nestor? Damn, there's a book I like where there's a Nestor in it, and he's a fucking asshole. Nope. But I can't remember what fucking book or series it's from. Huh. Search number 1 that comes up, Nestor Carbonell. For him. Next one, Nestor Carbonell. Eyes. Oh, that motherfucker. Yeah, I like him. He's been in a lot of shit, and he's always good. Yeah, he'd make a good Ramirez. Yeah. Yeah, he'd make a good Ramirez. Oops. Dummy. Gotta show everybody. There we go. What do y'all think? Little makeup. He's good to go. And like I said, he's been in a lot of shit. Maybe I should show you a younger picture just to make sure y'all recognize him. Like this one. Might look a little more familiar. Yeah, he was the I think he was the original DA before what's his nuts? Fucking Two-Face. Can't remember his regular character name offhand for whatever stupid ass reason. But yeah, that guy. Obviously younger picture. We'll go back to a much more recent one. But yeah, he definitely could play Ramirez. I cannot remember the whole motherfucking thing, and I'm not even going to try. Villalobos Ramirez, and like 3 names before that. So yeah, he's dope. He'd definitely make a good Ramirez for the 5th time. What the fook? Oh, that was me monitoring me. So, but yeah, Highlander. Catch up with chat. Brooke says I liked the first Highlander film. Pretty enjoyable. I have to thank Rob for introducing me to Highlander. That'd be Robert Naples in the chat. My best friend. Yeah, he introduced me to Highlander, and I instantly fell in love with that motherfucking movie. Oh, yeah, Juan Sanchez... well, as Connery put it, I am Juan Sanchez Villanova de... well, you know the rest. Isn't it Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez? Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez. At your service. So, yes. Thank Rob for getting me hooked on Highlander. And when you combine my love of Highlander with being a Cavill stan, gimme! So yeah, that would be my silver lining if the Warhammer news be unfortunately true. What do you guys think? Which would you rather have first? Cavill Warhammer or Cavill Highlander? Should we actually go to Pole Town? What do you guys think? You just want to throw it in the chat, or should we go to Pole Town? What would you prefer? First, Cavill Warhammer, Cavill Highlander. Brooke would prefer Warhammer first, personally. Rob says Highlander, not a Warhammer fan. You should check out Luton. David B says Warhammer. Anybody else? Because if you prefer Highlander, you're losing. As for myself, I definitely want both. But gun to my head, I'm picking Highlander just because I know it better. So I will be able to enjoy it more. Probably. But I'm sure I will because we all know Cavill is a nerd to the point of annoying everybody on set. So I have very little fear for anything nerdy that he does. Like himself, that he's going to produce and shit. He has the appropriate mentality. Lucasfilm could learn a thing or two from Mr. Cavill. All right, I can't. That was longer than I thought we'd spend on Warhammer. That was actually kind of cool. Let's see here. Next on the list. Ooh, this is a fun one. I'm probably not even going to get to that. I really don't care. All right. So it turns out. Jorge, welcome back, man. Appreciate you. And you vote Highlander. We have a tie. I'm not going to be the deciding vote. I'm asking you guys what you think. My preference is irrelevant to this. Unless, of course, for some unknown reason you find my preferences or take my preferences as a guide. In which case, please feel free to vote Highlander. All right. So, December 18th, 2026, it would appear we're going to have ourselves what many think will be a big box office fight. Griff says, Highlander, there can be only one. Yes, this is true. That actually applies to what I'm about to talk about. So December 18th, 2026 is shaping up to be quite interesting. And this is because on that day, whatever Denis Villeneuve's next movie is going to be, and of course the leading candidate is Dune Messiah, will be premiering. What also will be premiering on December 18th, 2026 is going to be what will most likely be, Jesus, spit it out, dude. Will also be, or most likely be, the Ray movie. Oh, ha ha! Clever, David. Clever. One person, one vote. You know, the usual way this shit works. Unless you're Chicago and you know, Tammany Hall. But, man, poor Chicago. So much whack, crimey shit has happened there. Anywho, so, more than likely the scenario is it's going to be Dune Messiah versus the Ray movie. Head to head, December 18th, 2026. I think the Ray movie, or any Star Wars movie they put there, would get destroyed by anything Denis Villeneuve puts out, especially if it's Dune Messiah. Oddly enough, on the TwitX, there are many that disagree with that. There are many that think Star Wars, on name alone, will beat Dune Messiah. I don't fucking think so. Not what the damage KK has done to this franchise. I mean, shit. And on top of that, if it's a Rey movie, nah, fam. Dune Messiah smashes the Rey movie. Destroys it, decimates it. As Ewan McGregor told Jar Jar, they'd smash it into 1,000 pieces and blast it into oblivion. Like, Kennedy has damaged Lucasfilm to that point. The Star Wars name is tarnished. The Star Wars name has lost a lot of its cachet. At least, this guy thinks so. So, for me, I don't see any way in fuck the Star Wars movie doesn't get bodied hard by Dune Messiah. Or whatever Denis puts out, because evidently he's got 4 movies in production right now. Pardon me. So, yeah. Oddly, a lot of people on the TwitX think Star Wars can still dominate. I think Star Wars better get off that fucking date if they want to make money on the Rey movie. Or what is most likely going to be the Rey movie. What say you, chat? How will that go? Dune Messiah versus the Rey movie. I think Rey movie gets crushed. What say you? Anybody? Brooke says Dune Messiah is going to be great, in my opinion. Oh, probably. But do you think that... Does that mean you think Messiah crushes the Rey movie? Icarus says Star Wars will dominate because the kids will drag their parents into the cinema. That is a valid point. I don't think Star Wars is anywhere near as popular with the kiddies as it used to be. I work in retail currently, and I can tell you with my own eyeballs when it comes to Star Wars toys, it is generally, not always, but generally the fact that the Disney Wars shit ends up on the clearance shelf and the Lucas Wars stuff flies out at full price. So, that being a Rey movie, especially considering how divisive the sequels still fucking are, I don't see it. But that is possible. I will not deny that possibility, Icarus. I myself just can't see it. Brooke says the Rey movie don't stand a chance. Yeah. David B says, didn't think Rey character was popular anyway. Overall, she's really not. But Disney are too stubborn to listen to the general public. Well, that's fucking facts. And it started 12 years ago with the turning of the EU into Legends and has not stopped since. Jorge Castillo says, Star Wars usually is a December movie, but it shouldn't be out. I just recently watched the previous two. And for teen to young adults, this is going to be Dune Messiah the winner. The rest, Star Wars. Oh, Star Wars will probably easily be the number 2 movie that weekend. Like, they'll dominate everybody else. Let's not get that twisted. They have enough. They still have enough cachet left for that. But enough cachet to beat Dune Messiah? I am highly skeptical. Darth Maximus says, Rey movie should be shelved for now, till they come out with a few big hits first. Yes, that is quite a sound strategy. That is definitely a sound strategy. So that's exactly what they're not going to do. Unfortunately. Like, after we get Dave's Star Wars version of the Avengers, as the Irish dude said in Braveheart, I'm pretty sure we're fucked. So, Icarus says, don't they want the Rey movie to be that hit? Well, yeah, they want that. They're not going to fucking get it. That's the thing. It doesn't matter what they want. It ain't fucking happening. The Rey movie the Rey movie barely has a chance to be a success, in my opinion, much less take out Dune Messiah. Now, there is also the other side of this, which is if they write that movie super well, somehow manage to redeem Rey's character, which I suppose isn't impossible, but is one fuck of a cliff to climb, and you don't have any equipment. You're freehanding. Now, if they somehow manage to pull that off, not only will I be shocked, I will be impressed and happy that Lucasfilm in its current iteration finally managed to put out a banger. It could fucking happen. It could. But I doubt it. The odds are definitely not in that favor. So, yeah, they definitely want it. Kathy needs her characters to actually become popular. Icarus says they should let the Andor Rogue One people make movies. Well, I will admit that Tony Gilroy did one hell of a job coming in and cleaning up that script for Rogue One and making it good. I applaud him for that. However, his tendency to want to get into the nitty-gritty and forget the essence of Star Wars, which, as juvenile as it sounds, is space wizards and the Force. Those are the only things that differentiate Star Wars from any other type of science fiction. And guess what Andor is? Any other type of science fiction with a Star Wars sticker on it. And that's also Tony Gilroy. And if that's how he actually wants to treat Star Wars, no. I don't care how talented he is. If he has no intention of writing Star Wars properly, fook that man. No thank you. Nah fam. Nothing. Do. Brooke says, if Ray movie makes $700 million, I would say that's pretty good. Oh, yeah. I think that'd be damn good for that movie. It would not be enough to beat Dune Messiah, more than likely. But that would for that movie, that would definitely be an impressive total. Jorge Castillo says, can't deny that. To which that are you referring? Prez says, I don't see a scenario where these next few episodes come anywhere close to episode 5. We're talking about Ray movie versus Dune Messiah, Prez. But I tend to agree with that. Oh yeah, definitely big if. No, you can get any group of rebels versus any oppressive empire in 90% of science fiction already. Like literally. Most science fiction is that. Or a lot of it. Fair chunk. So the only thing that differentiates Star Wars from the rest of that is Space Wizards. Not Space Wizards and Pew Pew, although I love the Pew Pew. But it is Space Wizards. That's the only substantive difference. That and the fact it's used to be written in an episodic form. But yeah, it's Space Wizards. Space Wizards is what makes Star Wars and not just sci-fi. David B says, but if the Ray movie is a hit, Disney will use that to turn out more substandard series, in my opinion. Yep, that is a definite possibility. And that would be, I suppose, the black cloud over that. Because while I would definitely enjoy a good Ray Star Wars movie, the fact that could easily be the repercussions of it being good is, I don't find that to be very cool at all. Prez says, I just tuned back in. I thought I heard something about Acolyte. No. No Acolyte yet. Actually, I wasn't even planning on talking about the Acolyte at all. Like, I pretty well got all my thoughts out Wednesday. But, I mean, if you guys want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. I'm here to talk about what you want to talk about as well as what I planned on talking about. So, do you want Acolyte talk, or do we want to move on to the next subject, which is where we actually get into the Marvel news? Acolyte or Marvel? And while you guys are deciding, I almost forgot. My bad on the Geeky Cast thing. There was I misunderstood some stuff, so that's on me. But he is coming in next Saturday. So you know. So be excited for that, because that is going to be one super fucking stream. And very, very informative. Prez says, then forget I said anything. Will do. Icarus says, what episode 5 the best or the least bad episode yet? Yes. It was both. David says, please no. Icarus says, go Marvel. And Maximus says, all right then. Fook the Acolyte, and thank you for that, chat. I appreciate that. And we shall now get into the Marvel news. Time to consult my, as they would say on Blue's Clues, handy dandy notebook. I have a grandson, so I fucking went there. All right. All right, let's go with some of the more Captain Obvious ones, shall we? Daredevil should be in Spider-Man 4. Shocker, considering Spider-Man 4 is going to finish up Devil's reign from Daredevil Born Again. Right? So, Captain Obvious one there. Dormammu. Y'all remember Dormammu? We're supposedly supposed to get Dormammu pretty soon. Now, I honestly don't know how or why they would bring Dormammu in before Doctor Strange 3, since Clea is Dormammu's daughter. Now, is she his daughter, or is she his daughter like Gamora was Thanos' daughter? Someone help me out on that one. But yeah, Strange ran off with Clea, so I don't see any way that Dormammu is not in Doctor Strange 3. Brooke says Dormammu was pretty cool. One of my favorite parts of Doctor Strange 1. I thought he was alright. Prez says, interesting. I thought it was hilarious the way Doctor Strange screwed him with the Time Stone. But, of course, he also had to get wiped out however many times and go through that. So that probably sucked. Jorge Castillo says, gotta go. Duty calls. Call of Duty. Take care, fam. All right, man. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your weekend. But, I mean, Dormammu's cool. And it'll be cool to see him, but I can't think of another project where bringing him in makes sense. At least me. If you guys can think of one, I would be happy to see it in chat. Because chat participation also helps the channel. So. Thank you, Jorge. He said likewise. Peach flavored hard cider, in case anyone was wondering. It's tasty. Actually, it says peach and blackberry, but I don't taste the blackberry at all, which makes me happy because I don't like them. So, but yeah. So, yeah. Dormammu is cool. It'll be interesting to see him and what they decide to get him up to. But again, I have absolutely no clue what else he would be in other than Doctor Strange 3. No clue. So, let us see what's next. Allegedly, Spider-Man will be mentioned in Craven, the animal rights activist. Ooh. I know. World-shattering news, right? But it's out there. And it'll be interesting to see in what context he's mentioned. And considering Sony, how old he is. Right? Because Sony's stupid. They can't handle their villains. They can't handle live action Spider-Man. All this live action. For the record. Can't handle their villains. Can't handle live action Spider-Man without Feige's help. The only thing they really have going for them is the Spider-Verse movies, and that's not Amy Pascal. That's Lord and Miller. So that's really about the only interesting part of that little tidbit. It was, in what context will he be mentioned? This one is also kind of obvious. It is now out there that Shang-Chi will be appearing in both Avengers 5 and Avengers Secret Wars. Considering the post-credit scene from the first Shang-Chi, and he's getting Shang-Chi 2, which will probably be multiversal. And considering the fact that his movie made over 400, I believe it was 432 million in a 45-day limited release because it came out at the tail end of the COVIDs. That's good news, but very not surprising, at least in my opinion. Now, here's an interesting one. Allegedly, Marvel Animation is working on their first, under their new auspices after the reorganization, is working on their first feature-length animated project. They are about to embark on making a whole full-length cinematic feature. Now, number one, fucking cool. Number two, no fucking idea what it'll be. None. Only its existence is only its alleged existence is going on right now. So let's assume it's true. What do you guys think, first of all? Does the idea of a full-length animated feature from the Marvel Animation section of Marvel Studios sound good? Because I think it sounds good. I think it sounds really good. But what do you guys think? Please let me know in the chat. What y'all think? Maximus says, yes. The idea is cool. Brooke says, I think Marvel could focus more on animated stuff, especially with the success of X-Men 97. Also, apparently Season 2 of X-Men 97 might come out next year. That was actually the next thing I wanted to talk about, so thank you for spoiling that, Brooke. I'm just kidding, man. I don't give a fuck. I love you, bro. Matthew Gaudet. Gaudet. God damn it, I forgot, bro. It looks French, so I'm going with Gaudet. Depends on what they are adapting or if it's MCU related. That is a very good point. It does depend on what they are adapting. David B says, sounds okay to me, but would need more info before I could make a choice. Also fair. I, too, would prefer more info. But I do like the idea of a full-length animated feature. Now, what they choose to do with it, I may or may not have problems with. C-Dub, what's up? So yes, of course, that is definitely a concern. But in general, the idea that they're doing that, I find pretty cool. I find that to be pretty cool. Brooke says, yeah, I saw a tweet about Season 2 like yesterday. Hope to see Onslaught in Season 2 of X-Men. Well, that is the speculation that we will see Onslaught in Season 2. So now that Brooke has brought that up, C-Dub says, pumped to watch UFC 303. Yeah. I was following the prelims on Twitter. Very, very, very few finishes. Very few finishes. I'm like, God damn, this isn't even going to be worth me watching in the prelims on the Plus after stream. Because I much prefer finishes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have witnessed some banger fucking just absolutely magnificent full-length fights. And I've enjoyed every second of them. But if I had a choice, I would much prefer finishes, and since I'm going back and watching them, I have a choice. So it is just a teensy bit annoying when there are barely any finishes to watch. That's all. Matthew Gaudet says, casting as well is important in animation. And in movies, they have a tendency to cast known names, not the best actors/actresses. This is true. Jesus fuck. This is true. That is very true. And yes, it is very important that they get a good voice cast. Definitely very important. C-Dub says, I prefer finishes too. I mean, most people probably do. Although, there's an unfortunate chunk of the people that prefer finishes who are, like, have no appreciation for a banger full-length fight. They're just gonna bitch. And those motherfuckers annoy the shit out of me. It's like, bro. Or the motherfuckers who boo when a couple grapplers are playing body chess. It's like, learn fucking something and shut the fuck up. Like, seriously. Get familiar with the sport you're watching. You'll appreciate it much more. You'll understand it much more. And you'll be that much less of a douchebag. Holloway versus Gaethje full fight was dope. Well, that was both. That was a full fight and a knockout and a finish, because the finish literally came at 4:59 of round 5. So, technically, super pedantic, it wasn't a full fight because it did not make it to the judges. But yeah, it was a full, fuck 1 second. It was a full fight. And yeah, that was insane. Yeah, but out of how many fights, though? Unless Twitter's been hosing me on a couple of the finishes, I only remember seeing 2. That one kid in 19 seconds, and I can't remember who the other one is. But I remember seeing 2, so that's cool that there's 3. That makes me feel a little bit better about it. That makes me feel a wee bit better. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the upcoming animated feature. Like I said, no clue what they're adapting. No clue who's going to be in it. No clue when it's coming out. But I think it's cool that they're going in that direction. That's really all I can say about it right now, with only its existence being known information. All right. Oh, yeah. As Brooke brought up, ladies and gentlemen, it is highly likely that we will be getting X-Men 97 season numero dos next year. But not just next year. It is possibly coming out next summer. Yeah. X-Men 97 season 2 in the summertime. Summer, summer, summertime. Let's just sit back and unwind. So, obviously, I'm fucking stoked that finally we only have to wait a year between seasons for something. Like, first of all, how fucking awesome is that? And then second of all, it's fucking X-Men 97. Literally the perfect fucking show. At least in recent memory. Well, now there's Hot D back, but I mean, that's almost perfect as well. So, excuse me. But, yeah. X-Men 9 to 7 season 2 in about a year. Seriously, how awesome is that, chat? Matthew Gaudet says, like when they cast Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear, yeah, that was bad. Or Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime. Yeah, that wasn't great either. I still haven't even watched that movie. The trailers did not make me want to watch that movie. They had the opposite effect. They made me not want to watch that movie. I may just decide to watch it randomly one day. Probably highly baked. But yeah, not cool. Stunt casting is a thing. Yeah, it is an unfortunate occurrence, yes. And you do get cases like Mark Hamill as the Joker, which worked out fantastically. Oh, yes, it did. Well, Mark Hamill's just fucking talented. I know most people are like, Luke Skywalker, but no. He was freaking awesome as the Joker on Batman the Animated Series. He was hilarious as Cockknocker in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. He's had all kinds of fun roles. So, Brooke Chen says, sounds hype, especially with how the ending of Season 1 of X-Men 97 leaves a lot for possibilities, I'm guessing, in Season 2. Brooke Chen also says, I watched the original Toy Story the other day. Didn't want to watch the Chris Evans Buzz Lightyear film. Yeah, I don't blame you. I heard. Now, of course, there is the usual complaining about, the woke stuff, but I heard it was just not a good movie for the most part. So. Oh, they totally got fed. Oh, they totally got fed. Mudge, you're not slick. Not even close to being slick. So quit trying to get fed your wet food twice, you little fuckwad. Where are you? Really? No. What the fuck is wrong with you? Yes, you're cute and adorable and you snuggle with Daddy a lot, but fuck off with trying to get extra food. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I love my cat, but fuck. Matthew Gaudet says, he was brilliant as Mozart, but the movie wouldn't even give him a tryout. Probably because you can't have Luke as Amadeus. That would be a little odd. Although, the homie that did play Amadeus back in the day, opposite, what's his fuzz, is Salieri. God damn it, what is his name? You haven't watched Amadeus? Oh, no, I Oh, okay. What is it? Fucking it. Anyway, that dude's dope. But, are you talking? Yeah. But yeah, seeing Luke Skywalker in a powdered wig Conducting operas and shit would be weird. I mean, he would be wielding, like, a baton. So it'd be like a teeny, non-glowy lightsaber, sort of a little. But, yeah, that would be a bit weird. Would be a bit weird. I would... F. Murray Abraham, thank you. Is he still alive? Okay, he's still alive. Good. But he's 84, so probably not for fucking long. Ugh. Oh, don't worry, those of you who are in your late 20s or early 30s or younger, I should say. Pretty soon, the people you grew up loving are going to start dying. Too. Every generation goes through it, so brace yourselves. But, yeah, so I honestly can't think of what they might be doing, and I honestly can't think of what I may want them to do right offhand. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it. It's going to be interesting to see if fan speculation gets it right. So, yeah. All right. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, we have the two most fun subjects left. That's what we have. But before we get into those, my throat is scratchy. And my bladder is approaching full. And I need more of a drink after it's empty because, again, my throat be scratchy. So, we've gotten to that point where I lose people. But I will be back in a wee bit after I handle a little bit of maintenance. And, again, the two most fun subjects are coming up, so please don't leave. Fucking go, you bitch. There it goes. Yeah, sorry about that super loud for a second. All righty, tighty two. You guys ready? Ooh, let me catch up with chat. Matthew Gaudet says, I did see Corvette Summer once, and the big red one Corvette Summer has Annie Potts pre-Ghostbusters. Interesting. Never heard of it, but interesting. Lou! Yo! What's crappening? You got here in time for the two biggest stories that I'm going to cover, at least in my opinion. Now, unlike most of the rest of the stuff, this one actually comes from Daniel RPK. But yes, big shout out to the Geeky fam, Geeky Cast, Holyfield News, Syrian Geek Syrian Geek vibes. A couple other people, but yeah, they're all good. I followed them all on Twitter, or on the Twitex, I should say. So big ups to them for getting all this news out there over the last couple days. I appreciates it. But, like I said, this next bit comes from one Daniel RPK. And it is this. In the Thunderbolts, Sentry will have a no-kill rule. I don't like it. I don't think it's a smart decision. Not because I think the Sentry should be, like, always controlled by the Void and out there slaughtering all kinds of motherfuckers. But, which is still possible. Like, non-Void Sentry could have a no-kill rule. And, you know, they could show him when he's in Void mode just slaughtering motherfuckers. But all Daniel said was the Sentry. Now, he could have been being specific, but he wasn't specific about being specific, and about that being Sentry in normal mode having a no-kill rule, which makes sense. And it has come out later that it'll be part of his programming, potentially to keep the Void from taking over. Which actually would be a reasonable explanation, although if in order to keep the no-kill rule in effect, they basically eliminate the Void, it'll still be there obviously, but in terms of this movie, eliminate the Void, that would be dumb. The Void is an inherent part of the Sentry character. Every time he does something cool, the Void tries to make him do something fucked up. And to remove that aspect of the character, I think, is a stupid-ass idea. I think it's stupid. Why would you get rid of that part of the character? not like you haven't shown motherfuckers die in the MCU before. I mean, I'm not saying, although he's fully capable of it, you should go all boys graphic or something. But, I mean, if he's like blowing people through concrete walls on the regular, you know bodies turn to jelly. Normal human bodies turn to jelly in that situation. You know, fine. Whatever. I mean, I think they could even go so far as to, you know, some neck breaks and shit. You know, they don't have to go like all the CG blood and guts and all that shit. They don't need to do that in the MCU. I appreciate it in the boys, but they don't need to do that shit. But completely eliminating the possibility of the Void taking over and him going on a rampage, I don't think that's a good idea. I think that it doesn't nerf the character because the Sentry without the Void is still powerful as he's fucking OP. Is what the Sentry is. The Sentry is motherfucking OP. But the Void is in him. He is it's an inherent part of his character. It's, you know, it's a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with one of the most ridiculously OP entities in the Marvel Universe. And limiting that character is not wise at all. It is not wise in the least. But it would appear they're going to do it. What do you guys think? Matthew Gaudet had already said, it's a dumb Hal Barwood movie where Mark Hamill's car gets stolen, and he was the friend of George Lucas, the guy who came up with it. Oh. Okay. So basically, the first edition of Dude, Where's My Car? Cool. Matthew Gaudet also says, 1978 post-Hamill face getting caved in an accident. And you can tell his face looks different after 77 Star Wars. His nose was reconstructed. Brooke says, for me, I've loved all the episodes of The Boys. Yeah, me too. I highly disagree with Josh about the side stories. Although, I mean, while it seemed like he was on that path, I did think it was kind of lame that Frenchie turned himself in. But, yeah, overall, I fucking love that show. I liked, I'm enjoying the Starlight versus Firecracker thing. Frankly, I also enjoy watching Firecracker walk when the camera's behind her. She has a nice tuchus. But, yeah, Boys is killing it, in my opinion. Matthew Gaudet says, you know who is OP? Xavier's son, Legion, which isn't canon to the MCU. Well, they fucking need to make it canon to the MCU. Because Legion is ridiculously OP. Yeah, he's pretty fucking badass. But, yeah. Brooke says, Anthony Starr, always brilliant as well. Oh, give him all the fucking Emmys. Like all of them, or at least most of them. We'll see how badass the acting goes. We'll see how badass the acting goes through the rest of Hot D. I have no doubt it's going to be like that one scene with Otto, Egan, and Sir Douchebag, Kristen Korn. That scene, I mean, that's the scene the homie that plays Otto should put in for an Emmy. It'll get nominated. I guarantee he's going to be in that race for that scene. But yeah, Anthony Starr also needs to be all up in that shit. For Sheezy. David B says, but it had flying sheep. Not just any flying sheep. Flying carnivorous, murderous sheep that scream like reptiles and they got fangs like a mouthful of razor teeth. So they weren't just any flying sheep. You loved how they brought back STA Edgar in the recent Boys. Are you talking about the director that ended up getting bitch slapped by the chick he was verbally molesting, which I found awesome? Brooke says, Otto Hightower is such a well-developed character from Hot D. Oh, yeah, and that dude is acting his fucking ass off. So, C-Dub says, the killer chickens and sheep were dope. Fuck yeah, the killer chickens were hilarious. I mean, they weren't scared, but they were fucking hilariously awesome. The killer chickens, for me. But yeah. What do you guys think about them? You can't say nerf. Well, we'll have to see the movie to determine that for sure. But at this point, you can't call it Sentry being nerfed. You definitely can call it Sentry being limited. I don't like it. What do you all think? Brooke says, yeah, it was insane. They tested Compound V on animals. To be honest, what were they expecting from the experiments? Well, yeah, I don't know. Well, they were injecting them with V to test the efficacy of the virus. Evidently, they haven't gotten to a good efficacy yet. It would seem. Or someone just fucked up and left something unlocked, and they paid the price. C-Dub says, bulletproof chickens are tight. Yes, they are. Brooke says, I meant to say Stan Edgar, the character Giancarlo plays. Love that character. Yeah, Giancarlo as Stan Edgar is fucking dope. Well, Giancarlo is just dope. Mr. Esposito is magnificent. So, I don't care who he's playing. Good guy, bad guy, ambivalent guy. Giancarlo Esposito is the fucking man. But back to the Sentry. What do you think about them limiting, probably, not definitely, but probably limiting the character and not having the Void in Thunderbolts? Brooke says, right, yeah, they wanted to test the virus, but yeah, they should have kept those experiments more contained, oh, definitely, and have more protocols in case shit goes wrong. But then again, the show wouldn't be as good. Exactly. It is often the case in both TV shows and movie. It requires some form of stupidity to keep the story moving. It is often the case. So it's just kind of how that shit goes. And I'm fine with it as long as it's executed well. And I feel like, at least for me, the killer barnyard animals were awesome. Any thoughts on Sentry, chat? Otherwise, we'll move on to the biggest story to come out this week. And I mean this week, not just the last couple days since the Wednesday stream. I mean this week. Nothing. Don't give a shit what they do with Sentry? David B says, if they want to test the serum on the boys, just feed some soup-tainted chicken and lamb. Yeah. Could be interesting. Inject already cooked chicken and lamb with compound V. That could be cool. C-Dub says, solid start to UFC 303. Are you referring to the prelims or the main card? And please remind us, if it is the main card, please remind us who be fighting first. Is that the Ian Gary MVP match first? Because that one's liable to be fun. Brooke says, don't know too much about Sentry, but excited for the character to come to the big screen. Totally fair. Totally fair. Brooke also says, the flying sheep scene was terrifying. Kept wondering if some of the main characters would die, to be honest. I didn't find it an intimidating scene personally, but I did immensely enjoy it. Carnivorous sheep with a shit ton of razor sharp teeth screaming like banshees and snatching people off the ground and dangling them so all the sheep can feed at once is fucking cool for me. Excuse me. Maximus says, C-Dub, I'm watching it while I watch this stream also. And it is the main card? All right. Was I right? Is it Ian Gary versus MVP for the first fight on the main card? And have they already fought? Well, the main event is Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prohashka. That's the main event. Brooke says, yeah, it was terrifying at first when the sheep started to bare their fangs, but loved it too. Cool. C-Dub said, Paige somehow escaped a triangle choke, hold dead to rights, stayed in it for 30 seconds without tapping. Damn. Oh, I was right. It is Gary versus Paige. Cool. So I assume they've at least fought round one then. Cool. All right. I just remembered something. First fight. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Maximus. Yeah, I just remembered something. Now, we all know SDCC Hall H is coming up. We all know Deadpool and Wolverine premieres that weekend. And Josh, if you are either a Nerdvenger or at least are always in Josh's streams, then you know he always does a monstrous stream for Hall H. One moment, I must scratch my ear. Okay. And he has flat out said he's going to be having said monster stream on Saturday night. He used the word night. Now, he obviously has not been specific about time. But assuming his stream is going to be somehow simultaneously with this one, my wife came up with a very interesting idea that I kind of like. But I need to know what you guys think. And the idea is this: that we come here to watch Josh, like I'll be on, God damn it, mouse. On this screen. Seeing, the normal me down here. Or down here. If my mouse is even working on that, probably not. But the normal me down in the corner. But watching Josh's stream. And that way, instead of having to deal, and pretty much so we don't have to deal with what will be a monstrous chat. We will be here in the convenience of our own little chat and really able to discuss shit. So what say you, chat? If Josh's stream ends up smashing this one a bit, or, you know, running about the same time as this, and I know we all want to watch fucking the Hall H coverage. Let's be real here. I want to watch the fucking Hall H coverage. That Josh does. But I think it would be cool if we watched it here so we could have our own intimate chats about what we see. What y'all think? This is y'all's call. Would you rather us just all watch it on Josh's channel, like, straight up? Or do y'all want to get together here and have a Hall H Josh watch party, essentially? What y'all think? Brooks down to watch it here? Cool. How about it, chat? How about it? Then we'll get to the biggest story after this, but I wanted to talk about this before I fucking forgot again. As I have an unfortunate tendency to do too often. Maximus says, sounds good to me. Just hope I can make it, but hell yeah. Cool. David B says, to be honest, I don't even know who Josh is. Well, I mean, if you've never been in Josh's stream, well, you're generally in the middle of, like, early afternoon. Wait, plus 5 hours. No, you're generally in late afternoon when he would come on. Like, he would come on 4 p.m. your time. So, I mean, most of us here are also Nerdvengers, so we all think he's cool. Obviously. So, I don't know. Think it over. I'll probably put a post out in the community as well. You know, if you want to think it over for a while and then, you know, respond as a comment in the post, that's totally cool and would be super helpful for the channel. Comments help. Likes help. Watch hours help. It all helps. And I could use a shit ton of help. So, all right. Cool. All right, you guys ready to get into the last and fucking largest piece of news to come out? It is this. One Kevin Feige, when asked by the Russo brothers if they could direct Avengers 5, Kevin looked at them and said, no, and sent them packing. Now, since the end of Phase 3, the Russos have been involved in a few films. So a couple as producers, a couple as directors. And none of them have been that good. So even if Feige said no for purely personal reasons, the evidence since the end of Phase 3 from them is that that wasn't necessarily the worst idea. However, the flip side of that is that maybe the problem is on their own, they're not super awesome, but inside the Marvel system, they fucking rock. That is the other possibility. So, personally, aside from the fact it's interesting that he said no, and I do wonder if it was purely for personal reasons, because it has long been rumored that the three of them had an unpleasant falling out. So he could have flat out said no, still feeling, however he felt during that. It is not known when that conversation took place. So they could have done none of those projects that they have done before that conversation took place, which, if that's the case, would make it much more likely that it was a continuation of the beef. Now, I think, despite what they've done outside of the Marvel system not being great, we all know they are great inside the Marvel system. So, based on that, Kevin, you're fucking dumb, bro. How do you not bring the Russos back for your next Avengers movie? Especially if shit. Especially if you know they already work well in the system and have killed it with Avengers movies, obviously, before. And not just those. Winter Soldier, Civil War. I mean, some of the best movies of phases 1 through 3, they did. So I think this is stupid. It's a bad business decision. And if it's also personal, that's even more dumb. I think that was the point I was trying to get to before. My bad. Yeah, so for me, it's an L after I thought about it. At first, I was like, yeah, they haven't done so well lately. But I wasn't thinking about the fact that when they're in the system, they seem to be magic. So I think it's kind of fucked that Feige would do that. I think it's kind of fucked. That's my take. It's pretty simple. It's fucked. It's not a good business decision at all. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think what they've done outside of Marvel outweighs what they've done inside Marvel and has caused you enough worry about their skills to not want them back? Or do you think the telling fact is that they would be back in the Marvel system and their history in the Marvel system is humongous excited chef's kiss? What do y'all say? Hell yeah. C-Dub says, Josh does pull some nasty numbers in those SDCC live streams. I want to say he's come near 20K several times. Yeah, I know the one in 22 was fucking monstrous. So, that's the only one I've seen. C-Dub also says, hopefully Leslie Headland and Jessica Gao can helm Secret Wars. I know you're joking, But why would you even put that into the universe? I should put you in fucking timeout for that shit. I love you, but what the hell, Dub? What even is that thought? Even as a joke, what even is that? Like, fuck. Matthew Gaudet says, I'm agnostic. I've seen nothing they've produced outside the MCU except everything everywhere all at once. I have not seen that particular movie yet. I have heard it is really good. So I should get around to it. I really need to get around to it. I have no idea when, but I do acknowledge that is a movie I need to see. C-Dub says, yeah, I know. Also, shut up. Damn it with my ear. Brooks says, I like the Russo brothers from Marvel. If their track record with Marvel is good, it shouldn't matter too much what their stuff outside of Marvel is, as long as they understand Marvel stuff. Just my opinion. I mean, that's a totally fair opinion. And also, I agree. I think they'll be golden once they're in the system. I think we'll get the quality we've been missing with them inside the system. And dear God, do we need that level back of MCU films. Well, MCU everything. C-Dub says, look, we are in the worst time for Murphy's Law to affect everything Disney touches. I'm preparing for the worst. I mean, that's valid. Excuse me. That is very valid. I cannot argue the validity of that. However, we're talking Feige and not Kennedy. So that ups the odds to at least a much less stupid decision. It doesn't eliminate the possibility of a stupid decision, but I would say that limits it quite a bit. Matthew Gaudet says, Deadpool 3 could be good. Please be good. I have full confidence in that movie. I have seen nothing that's come out that makes me think that movie is anything but something I am going to fucking love. And has anyone noticed, I don't know how much time y'all spend on the TwitX, but there have been a lot of people doing a lot of image research, and it turns out they have been showing us these cameos all along, but they have been digitizing them wearing like masks and shit. Like there's a direct photo above and below photo of the scene where we see Sabretooth, and the same scene above where he's covered in some kind of gear. Digitally, evidently. So evidently they've probably shown us quite a few cameos without showing us quite a few cameos. C-Dub says, Feige hired Jessica Gao for She-Hulk. Yes, he did. But that was in Phase 4, where, and I agree with Josh on this one, he had the mentality that the Marvel sticker was good enough. And also, more than likely, wanted to concentrate on the later movies in the saga. Well, more specifically, the last few movies in the Multiverse saga. You know, Avengers 5, Secret Wars, probably Doctor Strange 3. So that would be why we had both Jessica Gao and probably the She-Hulk show, period. Although he's the one that had to green light it in the first place. But I think he may have expected something different than him being turned into an AI and Jennifer breaking the fourth wall, well, smashing the fourth wall. So, yeah. That was when Feige was being negligent. That's what I call it. He's had a phase and a half of negligence. But now he's not being negligent any longer. So. Oh, by the way, I also saw, just real quick little tidbit, they are done with the reshoots for Captain America Brave New World in Atlanta now. So hopefully they can get this motherfucker in post and get it ready to go for March. The fuck was I just talking about right before that? Oh, but yeah. Nope, already fine. But yeah, that's that was Feige's negligent period. That's over. But yeah, Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolts were both conceived when he was being negligent, but that's probably why both movies have gone through a fuck ton of reshoots. Just like Daredevil Born Again was essentially completely scrapped, and including the staff, and replaced. So Matthew Gaudet says, they had me at Hugh Jackman, not gonna lie. It's like No Way Home and Toby. I mean, yeah. Maximus agrees. Yeah, I agree with both of you. That's, yeah. That first promo that came out, where, Ryan Reynolds is on the couch talking about how he was having a pisser of a time putting together the first MCU Deadpool movie. And then, Hugh Jackman casually walks through with a sandwich, and he's like, hey, Hugh, would you please be Wolverine, or whatever he says. He asked Hugh Jackman to be Wolverine one more time, and he was just like, yeah, Ryan, and continues upstairs. And Ryan gives the look. That was magnificent. And probably made it to about 10 o'clock after that one, if you know what I mean. Wasn't quite gripping, but probably right about 10 o'clock. Brooke says, speaking of Deadpool, I watched Deadpool via a watch party with Justified MF and his server. Love that movie. Oh, yeah, the first Deadpool movie is great. It is really great. Second Deadpool movie is decent. Nowhere near as good as the first one. But it is definitely not a bad movie. At least not for me. But it is definitely not, even in general as movies go, it is not super strong. But it is also far above hot garbage. So what do you think? Big L for Feige on the Russo brothers? I say so. I believe that to be true. What saith you, chat, my chat? My friends, my community, I appreciate you all. Please respond for the algorithm. Lou says, huge L. Matthew Gaudet says, Harrison hasn't been in a rewarding good role as an actor except 1923 in years. I wonder if Brave New World will be different than Indiana Jones 5. I think it will. Again, mostly due to Kevin finally paying attention and all those reshoots. So, I think it'll be different. The question is how much different? How much better could they and did they make this movie with all these reshoots? That's the big two-part question. For both that and Thunderbolts. In general. Brave New World specifically for Mr. Ford. C-Dub says, the second one needed a better villain, but outside of that, it was fun. I fucking love Cable as a character. I love it. It was kind of funny that they got Brolin to be Cable. And you knew Deadpool was going to call him Thanos like he did. Listen here, Thanos, or listen up, Thanos. Something like that. Just in a non-nerdy role Josh Brolin's good in. Have y'all ever seen the movie Sicario? I like that movie. Matthew Gaudet says, I will say he was good in Blade Runner 2049, but he was barely in it. Yeah, I never got around to watching that one. Carrie says, for the algorithm! Thank you, Carrie. C-Dub says, Cable isn't really the bad guy. That's the point I'm making. It didn't really have a villain, if you think about it. Ah, I see. And yes, you're right. I mean, Cable is trying to kill a kid, so he's kind of a bad guy, but on the other hand, most people who went to that movie probably are familiar with Cable, so they know he's mostly a good guy, but he is definitely willing to bloody it up if necessary. Matthew Gaudet says, Brolin nailed Cable. Making an X-Force R-rated is insane. Oh, you mean like the actual X-Force and not the pseudo X-Force that was in Deadpool 2? Brooks says, Cable was pretty cool, but yeah, enjoyed Deadpool 1. Oh yeah, I mean, Deadpool 1 is definitely a better movie. For sure. But I don't think Deadpool 2 is a bad movie by any stretch. Brooks says, Cable is mostly a hero in the X-Men animated series, I guess. Anti-hero, maybe. Yeah. Carrie says, I'm just lurking behind the scenes. Just pretend I'm not here. Hi. See ya. You will forget Carrie is here, chat. You will forget Carrie is here. C-Dub says, I wonder if Deadpool 3 will have a legit big bad and not just a bunch of random villain fights. Yeah, the big bad is Cassandra Nova. She's the one leading all them villains. The psychotic sister of Professor X. Matthew Gaudet said Fox's whole slate was killed, including X-23 from Mangold. You mean in terms of the multiverse? Or what exactly do you mean? Gotcha. Carrie. What the fuck is with this thing? God damn it. Alright. Stop looking crooked and stupid, damn it. There we go. What the fuck are we talking? Oh, yeah. Feige. Dissing the Russos. For an Avengers movie. I say what the actual fuck. Can we all agree on what the actual fuck for that one? I think we can. I think we do. And I find that awesome. Because I'm needy and being agreed with really is cool. So, that be all the Marvel news I have and was planning to talk about. You guys got anything you want to talk about? Is there any part of the Marvel news you want to dip back into? Anything else on your mind? Doesn't have to be Marvel related, just whatevs. But since I've run out of my planned stuff, again, I am happy to hang out with you guys as long as y'all want to hang out. But my planned stuff is over. And evidently there are a few finishes I can watch. So we can chat or we can dipski. But whether or not which one we choose is actually which one you guys choose. Because I am here to hopefully entertain you. And since most of you come back stream after stream, I assume I'm actually succeeding well enough. Matthew Gaudet says, those X-Men spinoffs might be for the best considering Dark Phoenix sucked, New Mutants was terrible, Apocalypse was lacking. I did like Logan. Oh, Logan was fucking amazing. Yeah. But yeah, definitely, I mean, it wasn't Oscar Isaac's fault, but that was a shitty Apocalypse. Brooke Chen says, as for Marvel, I just hope they do a good job of making Sentry a badass character. Just a quick reading of his lore, I'm already hyped. Yeah, but did you notice how integral the Void was to him? I think eliminating that aspect of the character is not a good idea. Especially considering, although this is much more on Lucasfilm, but Disney, even Marvel's done this a couple times. Nerfing characters is fucking dumb. Even if the nerfing isn't a power reduction, if it's just eliminating an aspect of them, it's still fucking dumb. So I don't like it. Turning down the Russo brothers doing an Avengers movie is fucking dumb. I don't like that. So. But yeah. I mean, it wasn't all bad news though. I mean, Dormammu's coming back. That's pretty cool. I mean, we basically already knew this, but Daredevil going to be in Spider-Man 4. Matthew Gaudet says, I don't hold Oscar to blame or even the dude who played Kylo for Disney Star Wars. Good actors outside of Star Wars. Oh, Adam Driver is a good actor. When he first popped his helmet off in The Force Awakens, I was like, the fuck? But, yeah, no, he proved himself. Brooke says, damn, reading about the Void just makes the Sentry all the more intriguing. I know! That's why I think that's dumb. To set up programming to keep the Void from coming out. Mental programming. It's... No! You don't fucking do that! To that character. No! Brooke says, oh yeah, what do you think about the news about Null having some role in Venom 3? That character is so dope. If we actually get to see him, as long as they got him CG'd up right, I'm a happy camper. There's no way they can do that makeup, like practical makeup. There's no way. So as long as they make him look good and sound good, I'm good. 'Cause I don't see him having a significant role in that movie. I feel like it's probably going to be just a mention. No. I take that back. I think Sony, I agree with Josh. I think Sony might be giving Null the Thanos treatment. So we may, for a second or two, just like at the end of Avengers, we may get a little peeky at him. So yeah, make him look good, Sony. That's really all you got to do for now. If you're going to give him the exact same treatment that they gave Thanos, all we're going to need is a big fangy grin from Null. Just make him look good. Pretty please. But yeah, Sony bringing in Null, as long as they don't fuck him up like they fuck everything else up outside of the Spider-Verse movies, that'd be fucking sick. Null would be fucking sick. I mean, what was it? King in Black was a pretty cool story. I mean, I've just read I haven't read the books, the comic books, but I've read a summary of the story, and it sounds fucking sick. So, Matthew Gaudet says, Boyega can be good, and he can be terrible. Who has never impressed me is Daisy Ridley. I think she was good in that movie she voiced over for Ghibli and in Ophelia, but nothing else. Well, I guess she's got a new movie out where she plays a swimmer like back in the day. I'm hearing really good things about that one. And honestly, from what it seems outside of the sequel trilogy, her acting has been improving. So, while she was not that impressive in the trilogy, especially at the beginning, evidently she's acquired some pretty good skill by now. So, it'll be interesting. And Boyega, I don't know. At least when it came to Finn in the sequel trilogy, I don't know that he was. I don't know that he was terrible. I think what they gave him to work with was terrible. Ray! So, I think that was more the problem. I mean, everyone can have a bad day or two on set and it can come out in the movie, but I definitely think more on his lower acting points in the trilogy were on the script and the directors than himself. Matthew Gaudet also says, definitely going to need some range and character for that Ray movie. I almost feel bad for the director of that because no matter what happens, people are going to crap on it. Well, first of all, I forget her first name. Something Obeid Chinoy. Anyway, Charmaine Obeid Chinoy? Whatever her fucking name is. I don't think she's qualified. She's a documentarian. Kathleen Kennedy is literally giving what will probably be the most controversial project to date as her first feature project. Just like they've been doing, they are setting these people up that they're supposedly bringing in to help their communities in the form of inclusion, but they keep setting them up for fucking failure, bro. The actors are set up for failure because the scripts suck for the most part. And Miss Chinoy is being set up for failure by being given this important a project as her very first feature project. Like, what the fuck? I mean, it's not her fault. I mean, she could end up being a hell of a feature film director, she should get her chance at a feature film. It should not be this one. It should not be this one. Charmaine Obeid Chinoy. Yeah, that is her name. Yeah, it should not be the Ray movie. That should not be her feature directorial debut. Brooke says, I will give the extended version of Rebel Moon a shot, time permitting, of course. Oh, I'm going to watch them. I'm going to watch the director's cuts. I want to see how different they are. I want to see what kind of chop job Netflix did, because I am 100% convinced half the problem with the unevenness of both parts of Rebel Moon was the chop job Netflix forced on Zach in order to shorten them and make them PG-13. Matthew Gaudet says, and you don't have Mark, Carey, or Harrison to carry it. And even Harrison isn't a given because Indy 5 flopped. Well, also, Harrison isn't a given because he has said multiple times he does not give two shits about Star Wars. He much prefers Indiana Jones. So there's also that. And the fact that they fucking killed him. Han Solo, him. Yeah, he could come back in a flashback or whatever. One array memory. But, I don't see that fucking happening. I don't see that happening at all. And not even because Indy 5 flopping. Even though that probably didn't help much. But yeah, I don't think he was coming back ever anyway. Honestly, I'm surprised they got him for the MCU. I'm also stoked because I love Harrison Ford, but yeah. What y'all got? Anything else? Got anything else you wish to talk about? My lovely chat. Matthew Gaudet says, I just don't think a Luke cameo is timely. Should have made a show right after he appeared in season 2 of Mando. Yes. With a recast. We need an actual actor for young Luke. Like, shortly after Return of the Jedi Luke. We just flat out need a new actor, in my opinion. Carrie says, what happened to giving great writers and great actors the work? If they're good, they're good. Shouldn't be giving anything to anyone just to fill a quota agenda. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, yes and no. I mean, it really is balancing the way Hollywood has worked for decades. But on the other hand, if you're going to do it fucking right. Like, X-Men 97 did it right. The Spider-Verse movies did it right. Barbie did it right. The Boys does it right. So, it's less about DEI existing. It's more about how it's executed. And Disney is very bad at executing it. And they're fucking the franchise, Lucasfilm specifically. They are fucking the franchise. They are fucking the fandom. And the worst part, even more so than fucking the fandom, is the way they are fucking the people they're hiring for that. They're not being set up for success. They're not being given good projects to work. So, yeah, Disney's just really shitty at executing it. Or specifically Lucasfilm is really, really shitty at executing it. And they don't help with their ass PR either. So, Brooke says, not much, but when it comes to the state of our favorite IPs, very hopeful for Marvel. For Star Wars, somewhat hopeful because of Ahsoka Season 2. Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Lou says, agreed. Matthew Gaudet says, yeah, I think they got the wrong idea from Solo flopping. Well, they didn't necessarily get the wrong idea from Solo flopping. They got the wrong idea of why it flopped. Solo was not that good, but it would have done okay. It would have done better than it did had it not come out right after The Last Jedi. Like within 6 months, I think. Someone can check me on that if you so desire. But it was definitely a matter of months. It was less than a year. For fucking sure. So, ooh, you're talking about the fight. Now I get it. Dub and Maximus. Bloodbath! Right? Carrie says, thank you, Aaron. That's what I mean. Oh, okay, yeah. Glad I could help. C-Dub says, damn, that is a nasty gash. You can damn near see your skull. I have seen Skull in the UFC. It's wild. Maximus agrees. Matthew Gaudet says, you need to have creativity and be able to be artful like Star Trek used to do to get around network censors and still put in a message that doesn't punch people in the face. Exactly. Not swinging your views with a 2x4 is part of doing it right. Again, the blueprint, in my opinion, the best blueprint for that is X-Men 97. That show was fucking hater-proof. Like, even your normal hate baiters had to be like, fuck. I mean, except for the extreme ones that you know. But even most of them were silenced.